Chapter 91. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing this, many ministers looked solemnly. Why is he here? 3 days ago, Wang Xuan's methods opened their eyes, he was truly valued by them, so Wang Xuan's arrival naturally attracted their attention, especially at this critical juncture. Li Qinghuan was just stunned for a moment, and then said, "Let him in." Announced the Prince of Zhenbei, Wang Xuan, to enter the palace. Eunuch and shouted at the top of his voice. Wang Xuan walked in with a wolf-like stride. Yang Heng, who had been keeping a low profile, also opened one eye, which was rare, and looked at Wang Xuan, thinking, "What is this kid up to again? Don't you know you should keep a low profile recently?" But when he thought about how his juicy cabbages were taken away by Wang Xuan, a pig, he was so angry that he didn't want to care about it anymore. He snorted coldly and closed his eyes and continued to bide his time. Wang Xuan walked to the stage and saluted, saying, "Your Majesty, I am Wang Xuan, your humble servant." "My dear, please stand up." "Thank you, Your Majesty." Wang Xuan stood up. "My dear, what do you want to report?" Li Qinghuan continued. "I have nothing to report." Wang Xuan shook his head. "What are you here for?" That Wang Xuan exaggerated what happened this morning. "After I woke up, I heard that the Jianghu prison was robbed at midnight today. It just so happened that my team of Xianlong guards encountered Lin An and his group escaping, and in the process of helping them, they suffered heavy casualties. All this is because the Jianghu did not fulfill their duties, which led to the escape of the prisoners and caused the casualties of my Zunlongwai. So I want to find Your Majesty and ask for an explanation." Wang Xuan's purpose is to put pressure on Li Qinghuan as a victim and find Lin An as soon as possible. He can also trip up the Jianghu, who can't even keep an eye on Lin An. If the Empress really listens to her nonsense, she might be able to break her left and right arms. As soon as these words came out, all the ministers were shocked. Wang Xuan actually dared to ask the Empress for an explanation. He was too bold. The Empress narrowed her eyes and smiled. "Oh. What do you want me to say to you, my dear minister? That what a good way to go with the flow. It is unreasonable to let Wang Xuan make suggestions for handling the matter. After all, Wang Xuan is not the chief censor, and he does not have the power to make rumors and report things. Moreover, he is not a court official, and he might be criticized for making irresponsible comments on court affairs." Wang Xuan would not be fooled, so he threw the decision back. "I dare not make rash comments on the matter, but I think that the Jianghu should be properly rectified, otherwise it would be a waste of Your Majesty's careful cultivation over the years. I also hope that Your Majesty can capture Lin An as soon as possible. I want to kill him myself to avenge the sacrifice of my Xianlong Guard soldiers." Li Qinghuan didn't expect Wang Xuan to say this. This kid is getting more and more difficult to deal with. "Don't worry. I have already made arrangements. Lin An can't escape Luodu. As for the Jianghu's dereliction of duty, Du Qing's family mentioned that they wanted to dismiss Commander Zhang Yang and Northern Pacification Envoy Liang Su. What do you think, my dear, that this is another trap? If Wang Xuan said yes, and it got to Zhang Yang and Liang Su's ears, he would definitely be hated. There is no need to create enemies for no reason. If he said no, Li Qinghuan might go with the flow and save the two. Both options are bad, so Wang Xuan chose the third one. "I will listen to Your Majesty and believe that Your Majesty will give me justice." Li Qinghuan smiled helplessly and said, "How about this? I have just told Du Qing's family, let's discuss it after the Jianghu arrests Lin An, okay? I have no objection." Wang Xuan was not here to bite the Jianghu to death. His main purpose was to make Li Qinghuan pay attention and arrest Lin An. Otherwise, it would be a big trouble for him if Lin An escaped. Then Wang Xuan glanced at Du. In fact, he was a little confused. Logically, Lin An was good friends with Chu Siyan, who was from the censorate. Why would Du jump out to wade into this muddy water? However, Wang Xuan quickly thought that they should want to distance themselves from the matter. After all, Lin An's escape from prison had indirectly confirmed his treason. The Chu family, who had a close relationship with Lin An, and even the censorate, should have tried their best to prove that they were not related at this time. But wouldn't it be better to let Chu Siyan do this? Speaking of Chu Siyan, why didn't I see him? So he retreated to the side of the censorate and asked Lord Du, why didn't I see Chu Siyan Du Yusher from your courtyard today? Du looked puzzled. Didn't Wang Xuan break off the engagement with the Chu family? Why was he concerned about other people's affairs again? However, he still replied, I don't know. I didn't see Yuan Zhan this morning. I guess he is sick and didn't have time to send someone to ask for sick leave. Du was also very surprised, because it was the first time he saw Chu Yuanzhan not come to the morning court, sick. How is it possible? Ministers have more or less practiced martial arts, and illness rarely happens. Moreover, Wang Xuan has been a relative with Chu Yuanzhan for so many years and knows Chu Yuanzhan's personality well. He can't not come to the morning court. If he doesn't come, then he must not be able to come. Something is wrong. That's right. Lin An. Lin An must have gone to become a monk. Did he want to leave the city in the Chu family's caravan? This is very possible. After Wang Xuan withdrew, eunuch and shouted again, if you have something to report, please report it. If not, dismiss the court. Wait a minute. Wang Xuan came out again. What's going on in your family? Li Qinghuan frowned slightly. Your Majesty. I know where Lin An is hiding. Where? Chu Yuanzhan Chu Du Yusher's house. Before Li Qinghuan asked why, Du stood up and shouted. You are talking nonsense. What rights do you have to slander the people in my censorate? How could someone from my censorate hide a serious criminal from the imperial court? Du looked nervous, fearing that he might have anything to do with treason. Master Du, I didn't say that the Chu family was hiding a criminal. It's very likely that the criminal kidnapped someone from the Chu family. Du's face relaxed when he heard this. Oh. How can Wang Qing's family be so sure? Li Qinghuan also became interested. Your Majesty, I am not sure, but I just asked Lord Du. Lord Chu did not come to the morning court today, and did not ask for leave. I am a relative of Lord Chu, and I know his temper very well. Even if he is sick, he will crawl to attend the morning court. For a person like this not to come to the morning court, something important must have happened at home. And considering the current situation and the relationship between the Chu family and Lin An, it is very likely that Lin An hid in the Chu family after escaping, and even controlled them. Li Qinghuan thought about it and felt that it made sense, so he ordered. Order Jianghu Commander Yang Linjing to lead 1,000 cavalrymen to the Chu mansion to arrest the wanted criminal Lin An. A young eunuch took the order and left. Wang Xuan also took his leave. He wanted to rush to the scene in person to ensure that everything was safe. Chapter 92. You are listening at novelfull.audio. An hour ago, at the Chu residence, Chu Siyan was woken up by Lin An. At first, she was frightened. She thought a thief had come in and almost screamed. Fortunately, Lin An covered her mouth in time and revealed his identity, which calmed her down. Lin Lang. You were released. Chu Siyan asked in surprise. All the fear and grievances of the past 2 days disappeared. Lin An nodded. Yener, I'm back. Lin Lang. Chu Siyan hugged Lin An fiercely. She hugged him tightly, wanting to melt him into her arms. Lin An also gently stroked her hair and smelled her fragrance. The slight dissatisfaction and disgust he had felt towards her in the past disappeared. He was already a useless person, so what reason did he have to dislike someone with facial paralysis? Fortunately, Chu Siyan had facial paralysis, so this time they were a good match. He even felt that he loved Chu Siyan more, and felt a sense of sympathy. Lin Lang. How did you leave? Yener was scared to death when she heard that you were arrested and imprisoned. She heard that no one could leave the imperial prison intact. Lin An felt a pain in his heart and a surge of violence. He indeed could not leave intactly. Chu Siyan also felt Lin An's violence and took a step back in fear. Seeing this, Lin An quickly put on a smile. I'm sorry, Yener, I scared you. It doesn't matter. As long as you are okay, Lin Lang. Chu Siyan said considerately. I'm fine. I came here just to ask Yener if you are willing to leave with me. Leave? Are you going somewhere to travel? Chu Siyan was puzzled. Lin An shook his head. Leave Luodu, go anywhere, the farther away from here, the better. Why? Isn't it better to stay in Luodu? Outside. Chu Siyan's expression changed and she stopped talking. She seemed to realize something. Lin Lang. You escaped from prison. Lin An nodded. Chu Siyan's face turned pale. She had never thought that Lin An actually escaped from prison, and came to their Chu family. If they were found to be harboring criminals, their family would be confiscated and exterminated. Yener, are you okay? Lin An noticed that Chu Siyan's tone was not right. Without, it's okay. Chu Siyan forced a smile. Lin An didn't think too much, but continued to ask. Yener, are you willing to go with me? Chu Siyan hesitated. You asked if she liked Lin An. She did like him, after all. He was handsome and talented, and he was a double-top scholar and an editor in the Imperial Academy. It could be said that he had a promising future, but now Lin An was just a fugitive. What future would it have for Chu Siyan to leave with a fugitive and stay with him for the rest of her life? Seeing Chu Siyan hesitate, Lin An's face darkened and he said coldly. Yener, didn't you say you wanted to be with me forever? Are they all lies? Chu Siyan quickly explained. No, Lin Lang. Yener really wants to be with you. But if Yener leaves with you, what will happen to our Chu family? I am the only daughter of my father. At this time, a bewitching voice came into Lin An's mind. Ha ha ha. This woman just looks down on you. But it's no wonder. Look at your status. What is it? Just a prisoner. Yuri probably overthinking it if you let a woman be a prisoner with you for the rest of her life. What's more, you are not a man yet, not a man, ha 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 ha. Listen to me, kill her. Drain her power. Lin An shouted with a ferocious face. Ah. Shut up. Then he grabbed Chu Siyan's neck and pressed her against the wall. Chu Siyan was choked to the point of being unable to breathe, and desperately slapped Lin An's arm. Finally, he used a hairpin to pierce his shoulder, which woke him up. Ah. You bitch. When he wanted to continue, the noise here finally attracted the attention of the Chu family. The Chu family guards kicked the door open and walked in. Then Chu Yuanzhan saw the crazy Lin An. His face changed drastically, and he shouted angrily. Lin An, why are you here at my Chu's house? You didn't escape from prison, did you? Kill them all. Lin An struggled to smile. Yeah. What do you want? Chu Yuanzhan smiled. Isn't this a good opportunity to show his loyalty? Since Lin An was convicted of treason, Chu Yuanzhan has been keeping a low profile these days, fearing that his political enemies would use this to attack him. If he could catch Lin An who escaped from prison, wouldn't he be able to clear his suspicion? Everyone, come on. Catch this criminal for me, and I will reward you handsomely. Lin An smiled, a very creepy smile, and he even licked his lips. You guys forced me to do this. Wang Xuan led the Xianlong guards and Yang Linjing led the Genie guards, and they rushed to the Chu mansion at full speed, but when Wang Xuan looked at the Chu mansion from afar, he felt a little uneasy. When they arrived at the gate, his suspicion was further aggravated. Yang Linjing seemed to feel something was wrong. He glanced at Wang Xuan and nodded, then each side sent a team to the gate. One of them stepped forward and knocked on the door and said, Hello, I am the shopkeeper of Baolong Bank. I want to visit Mr. Chu to discuss something important. No one answered. Seeing this, Wang Xuan waved his hand, and everyone dispersed. The same was true for Yang Linjing. There were nearly 2,000 people in total, surrounding the entire Chu mansion. Then someone climbed over the courtyard wall and opened the door. When the door was opened and they saw the scene inside, everyone's face became solemn. Blood. Blood all over the ground. Then a rush of bloody smell challenged everyone's sense of smell. The Xianlong guards were fine. They had experienced all kinds of scenes, so they were just a little nauseous. Many people on the Genie guards had already vomited. Yang Linjing was a little embarrassed. He didn't expect that someone on his side would be so, but soon, his attention returned to the present. Because the scene was too bloody, the ground was covered with blood and corpses. In the front yard alone, there were no less than 30 dead bodies, and the deaths were extremely tragic. Some were disemboweled, with wounds that looked like they were bitten by wild animals. Some were extremely shrunken, as if all the blood in their bodies had been sucked out. Lin An did it all. Yang Linjing said solemnly. Wang Xuan frowned and said, I don't know, but it's very likely that he did it. This is a real beast. Yang Linjing said fiercely, killing the whole family would be fine, but he actually used such cruel means. Go and see if there are any survivors. Wang Xuan ordered. Yang Linjing also gave the same order. But why did Lin An kill the Chu family? Doesn't he like Chu Siyan? This is his father-in-law's family. Yang Linjing was puzzled. Wang Xuan didn't say anything. In fact, he didn't understand it either. He thought Lin An came to the Chu family to use the Chu family's business caravan to sneak in and out of the city, but now it seems that it's different from what he thought. Just as he was thinking, Wang Xi came over and bowed. Your Highness. Miss Chu is still alive. Right in the backyard. Thanks to Jin Yi Xing for sending the blade and bobo milk tea. Chapter 93. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Xuan saw Chu Siyan in the backyard room. She was leaning against the bed, collapsed on the ground, with obvious scars on her neck. There were corpses lying on the ground all around, one of which was dressed in luxurious clothes. Wang Xuan guessed that it should be Chu Yuanzhan. The corpses died in extremely tragic ways, and the floor of the room was stained red. Chu Siyan's skirt was also soaked with blood, and her eyes were dull as she stared at the ground. No matter how the people around her called her, she did not respond. Your Highness, Miss Chu must have been greatly shocked and can't get anything out of her. Wang Xi said. Wang Xuan walked over and said coldly. Chu Siyan. Hearing the familiar voice, Chu Siyan finally responded. She slowly raised her head and finally saw the face that made her full of hatred. Wang Xuan. You devil. It was all your fault. If it weren't for you, how could Lin Lang become like this? How could he be so crazy as to attack our Chu family? It's all your fault. Chu Siyan rushed forward and tried to hit Wang Xuan, but was caught by the Xianlong guards halfway. Let me go. I will kill you and avenge my Chu family. Chu Siyan's face was hideous and she looked crazy. She hated Wang Xuan very much. 3 months ago, she had a happy family and Lin An who loved her very much. But it all vanished in the blink of an eye. The Chu family was gone, and it was Lin An who did it himself. She couldn't accept it for a while, so she blamed it all on Wang Xuan. Ever since she broke off the engagement with him, everything has been unhappy. Because of the aggressiveness of the Zhenbei Palace, her Chu family had to sell off their property to pay back the betrothal gifts. In the imperial examination, she slapped Lin An in the face and seriously injured him, leaving him with no face. Afterwards, she was insulted when she went to his house. Half of her face was destroyed. She had no face to see anyone, and could only cover her face with a veil all day long. In the end, Lin An was framed by him for treason and imprisoned, and then he escaped and killed her entire Chu family like crazy. All of this was because of Wang Xuan. You must have thought about this day long ago. If you can't get me, you want to destroy me. Are you satisfied now? You shameless bastard. Wang Xuan. I will never forgive you in my entire life. Chu Siyan burst into tears as she spoke, but the crying on this half of her face was so funny that it was impossible for people to have a trace of sympathy. Wang Xuan just looked at Chu Siyan coldly without saying anything. Chu Siyan was hurt by this sharp look. She was also confused. Is Wang Xuan's heart made of iron? She is so miserable. Why doesn't he come to comfort me? In fact, she didn't really want to kill Wang Xuan. It's just that the Chu family has been destroyed. Lin An has also become a serious criminal of the court and disappeared, leaving her helpless. Although she has hatred for Wang Xuan in her heart, the only way now is to rely on him. So she half expressed her emotions and half performed this scene. She knows men too well. Those who can't get it are always in turmoil. Don't you just want to get me? Okay, Chu Siyan, admit it. But after getting me, I will slowly retaliate against you. This was Chu Siyan's original plan, but now, Wang Xuan didn't say a word, just looked at her coldly. Seeing this, she felt a little scared. Finally, Wang Xuan spoke. He sneered, sometimes I really don't understand you people. Is it because everything has been going smoothly for you that you have the illusion that this world, all the people and things revolve around you? As long as something doesn't meet your expectations, you always blame others. I never thought about whether it was my own problem. The Chu family, you and Lin An, haven't you brought this situation upon yourselves? Or, in your eyes, I should be obedient, serve you and be at your mercy? No, I. Chu Siyan was a little flustered and wanted to explain. This was different from what she thought. Wang Xuan waved his hand and sneered. You are wrong, you and Lin An are wrong, all of you are wrong. I, Wang Xuan, was not born to be anyone's stepping stone. It's not something you, a group of people favored by luck, can get whatever you want. So what if it's destined? At worst, we can expose this thief. As soon as the voice fell, a thunderclap sounded in the sky. It seemed like a warning from God to Wang Xuan for his disrespect. When the people around heard this, they were all in awe. This prince of Zhenbei actually dared to challenge God. He was really respectable and formidable. Young Linjing also looked at him with a complicated expression. Before, he had the intention to compete with Wang Xuan, but seeing this, he couldn't help but feel a little ashamed. His pattern was still at the level of fighting with others, and Wang Xuan had already thought about fighting with God. Thinking of this, the desire to compete with him in his heart faded a lot. And he even felt admiration. Chu Siyan was also stunned for a while. For the first time, she felt that Wang Xuan seemed to be different from the image she knew before. She couldn't tell exactly where it was different. Without waiting for the other party to react, Wang Xuan turned around and left. Originally, he wanted to ask Chu Siyan for clues about Lin An in person, but now he has no interest. However, Wang Xi and Yang Linjing will take over, so he doesn't need to care. What he said just now was apparently said to Chu Siyan, but in the inner world, isn't it also saying to himself? Since crossing into this world, the miserable fate of the original body has been hanging over his head like the sword of Damocles. On the surface, he seems careless, and can even take every step carefully, step by step, to force Lin An, the son of destiny, to a dead end. But how much thought and energy is spent behind this? But I didn't expect that in the end, there was still a difference in chess, and Lin An actually escaped. And this time is different from before. Lin An has evolved, and from the feedback from the system, it still has the support of a power called alien demon. Life is like this, one wave has not settled, another wave rises. It is not difficult for Wang Xuan to imagine whether the power of heaven is behind this. He used his invisible power to correct the fate that Wang Xuan tried to change step by step to the trajectory that he originally envisioned, and the moment he saw Chu Siyan, he laughed. Even more, this thief god deliberately kept this thing and didn't let her die with the rest of the Chu family. Is it specially to disgust him? But oh my God, do you think that if you do this, I, Wang Xuan, will surrender? No. This just makes me feel funny. Anyway, I have already lived a life. Living it again is enough. What's the point of living in a muddle-headed way in this life? You want to fight me? Good. Let's fight. I will turn all the so-called sons of destiny that you have chosen into ashes. I will make the decision step by step. I want to tear this world apart and see you, the thief god. What the hell is this? Instantly, the thought came to him. There was no wind between heaven and earth. The sky, which was originally cloudless, suddenly became dark clouds. As the clouds rolled, lightning flashed and thunder resounded through the sky. When the people of Luodu saw it, they all thought it was the wrath of heaven, and many people bowed down and prayed. Suddenly, Wang Xuan had a spirit in his heart, and a roaring sound came from his body. In an instant, the true energy flowed into the sea, and rotated 9,981 times. The pure Yang Wuji Gong was perfected, thanks to Genie Yexing, for the update talisman. Chapter 98. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Can this Sophie Care package be considered a prize? Wang Xuan was indignant. The prizes for the advanced lottery are drawn from the mall. The Sophie sanitary napkin was originally placed in the mall at the request of the host, so it is also one of the prizes. Damn! It turns out that it was waiting for him here. That's 100,000 luck points for a sanitary napkin. You're really cheating. Wang Xuan argued that there are 20,000 packs of Sophie's Care gift pack, with a total value of 200,000 luck points, which is absolutely worth the money. Wang Xuan was stunned. Is this possible? 20,000 packs of sanitary napkins, this will make all the girls in Jianghu use them until the next life. Forget it, it's a lottery. I'll accept the loss. It just so happens that I don't have to spend luck points to buy sanitary napkins for Lu Shishi in the future, which is also a good thing. Wang Xuan didn't continue the lottery after a bad start. Instead, he asked someone to get pomelo leaves and a basin of water. Just now, he almost forgot his African identity and didn't wash beforehand. It must be like this. After washing, Wang Xuan continued to draw the lottery. Brother Wuji. Another high-level lottery, that the disc started spinning again, consumed the advanced lottery once. Congratulations to the host for obtaining one Grandmaster puppet. As expected, my luck has improved. Wang Xuan was happy. He was afraid that Brother Wuji would do something weird and give him a big gift bag. Fortunately, he performed stably this time and produced a Grandmaster Realm puppet. Wang Xuan's mind moved, and the puppet appeared in front of him. The whole body was wrapped in a layer of colloid, and the facial features were also lifelike, a bit like a large figurine. It was not automatic like a robot, but needed a person to control it with a soul. The system also gave him a book called Qian Yan Ju, which was a soul-splitting technique. It could cut out a part of one's own soul and use it to control the puppet. However, this book was quite useless to Wang Xuan, because he already had the 3 pure ones. He could completely transform a soul to control it without even having to be distracted, so he didn't learn it. This second draw gave Wang Xuan great confidence, so he planned to draw 10 times in a row. I don't know if there is a guarantee, but he just wanted to have fun. Brother Wuji, draw 10 advanced prizes. The disc in front of me kept spinning without stopping. Finally, all 10 draws were completed, and a continuous mechanical sound came to my ears. Congratulations to the host for obtaining soft hedgehog armor *1. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 6 meridians divine sword *1. Congratulations to the host. Wang Xuan's smile never stopped. These prizes are basically very good. Soft hedgehog armor, a magical weapon for countering damage, combined with the golden bell cover. The opponent will not only be unable to hurt him, but may also get hurt in return. 6 meridians divine sword, an upgraded version of One Yang finger, uses the power of One Yang finger to transform into sword energy, which is tangible but invisible, and can be called an invisible sword. Wang Xuan even thought about whether he could directly combine it with the Green Lotus Sword intention and perform the Green Lotus Sword song with his hands, not to mention the other major and minor skills. The 2 most important ones made Wang Xuan laugh so hard that his mouth split. Vajra indestructible divine art, a heavenly level body protection technique, an upgraded version of the golden bell cover. When practiced to perfection, the flesh body will not decay, the golden body will not be damaged, and you will be invincible below the heavenly level. The NaN Manual, a heavenly martial arts secret book. This is even more important. In Jin Yong's martial arts world, anyone who has learned a move from the NaN Manual can basically stir up trouble in the martial arts world. Not to mention in this high-level martial arts world, the NaN Manual is basically a top-level martial arts, and the NaN Manual not only has internal strength, but also martial arts moves. It records the way to crack the martial arts of the world and is the general outline of the martial arts of the world. For example, the heart-destroying palm, the white bone claw, the snake-shaped raccoon flip, the soul-transferring technique, the white python whip, the flying catkins power, the tendon-contracting clavicle method, etc., are as numerous as hairs. Any martial arts requires a lot of time to learn, so it is basically difficult to learn all of them. But Wang Xuan is different. He is a person with God-level comprehension. The speed of learning martial arts is much faster than before. The NaN Manual is too suitable for him. It also makes up for his weakness of lacking in attack moves. As for the internal strength, it can be used as a reference with the pure Yang Wuji Gong to see if it can be taken to a higher level and create a more powerful technique. After the lottery, there are still more than 800,000 points of luck left. Wang Xuan no longer draws, and these luck points are just used to practice these techniques and improve his realm. Just when he was immersed in joy, the door knocked and Uncle Fu's voice came. Young master. His Majesty wants to summon you. Wang Xuan's eyes condensed. What was supposed to come was finally coming. Half an hour later, in the study room of Zhenbei Palace, Wang Xuan saw Murom Wanqing as soon as he entered the room. His eyes narrowed slightly, then he bowed his head and saluted, Your Majesty.
My dear minister is here. Li Qinghuan said with a smile. Wang Xuan asked, I wonder what your majesty wants me to come here for. Li Qinghuan coughed lightly and said, this is what happened. I want you to assist Murong Qing's family in capturing Lin An and bringing him back. Oh. Shouldn't we just let the Imperial Guard handle this? Wang Xuan asked in confusion. Besides, it seems that it's not easy for me and the Prime Minister to cooperate. Your Highness, are you still holding a grudge against me? I apologize to you here. Murong Wanqing bowed and said, I was wrong last time. I hope your Highness will forgive me. I have no choice but to ask you to help the Zhenbei Palace this time. Because of the current situation of the Jianghu, it is difficult to guarantee whether there are spies. Therefore, I need you and the Zhuanlongwei to help me. After the matter is completed, I will come to your house to apologize for my crime. That it can be seen that, at least on the surface, Murong Wanqing is very sincere. After a long silence, Wang Xuan finally smiled and said, Prime Minister Qing, you are too kind. My Zhenbei Palace is also a part of Daqian. Since your majesty has something to ask, how can I let down Prime Minister Qing's sincere heart to serve the country? Hearing this, Murong Wanqing's eyes flashed with joy, and then she saluted. Thank you, His Royal Highness. Wang Xuan, do you still want me to apologize? When you get out, it will be your death. I will torture you and avenge you for insulting me. The two smiled at each other, each with their own evil intentions. The next day, Wang Xuan set out with Wang San, Wang Si and 300 Xianlong guards, and Murong Wanqing set out with Yang Linjing and 400 genie guards. Yes, Yang Linjing came too, although the genie guards were unreliable. As the son of General Shenwei, Yang Linjing's loyalty could be guaranteed, so he came along. The group headed directly north. According to Murong Wanqing's guess, if Lin An wanted to go out of the northern border to Rongdi, he could only pass through Yumen Pass. They were chasing towards Yumen Pass, at the same time, 100 miles away from Wang Xuan and his group. Lin An rode a horse, riding slowly, without any sense of urgency of being chased. The groom who followed him had disappeared, and his clothes were covered with dust. You could still vaguely see the bloodstains on them, which showed that the road was not peaceful. After walking for a long time, they finally arrived in front of a dilapidated temple. Lin An stopped and walked in to rest. As soon as he sat down, he smiled and said, You've been following me all the way, come out now. Chapter 99. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect to be noticed. Sorry for being so rude. A man walked in, with some surprise in his words. He had a beard and was dressed like a hunter. He was not very noticeable. You Rongdi people, are you so sneaky? Wang Xuan said disdainfully. The hunter was not annoyed, but laughed and said, This is in the territory of Daqian. If I rush in recklessly, I'm sure you won't be able to see me. And I didn't mean to follow you. I just needed to confirm if anyone was following you. This is good for both of us, isn't it? Lin An was surprised. He didn't expect that there was such a sharp-tongued person among the Rongdi people. They were different from the Rongdi people he had seen before, but this was just his stereotype. He thought that the grassland people only knew how to fight and kill. In fact, those who could sneak into Daqian would definitely not be so reckless. I guess there must be something wrong when you called me out with the ivy fritillary powder. The hunter went straight to the point, staring at Lin An. If the other party said anything wrong, he would kill him directly. He was a spy sent by Rongdi to Daqian, and they were called wolf guards, because their noses were very special and specially trained, comparable to wolves' noses. They could smell the smells from far away. Yesterday, the hunter was attracted by the smell of the ivy fritillary powder emitted by Lin An. This was specially used by Rongdi to identify people, and those who possessed this powder were of very noble status. They could use this ivy fritillary powder to summon their wolf guards to pass on messages. He really couldn't understand why. How could such precious ilex fritillaria powder be in the hands of a Daqian person? It's very simple. This ilex fritillaria powder is in the brocade bag that Murong Wanqing gave him. It was sent by Ajinai in order to win over Murong Wanqing, saying that if she is willing to surrender, she can use this to contact them. Murong Wanqing hesitated, but still accepted it. Then she gave it to Lin An.
She thought that Lin An would use it to hide in Rongdi and never come back. In the brocade bag, there was actually another thing, a wolf's tooth inlaid with gold and jade. Lin An took it out and showed it to the other party. The hunter's face changed drastically, and he immediately knelt on one knee and saluted. Wolf Guard Smurry. Greetings, Your Excellency, that this is the gold tooth that represents the most noble status. Those who can own it are all nobles. As you can imagine the identity of the person in front of him, Smurry did not dare to be rude. At the same time, he was a little uneasy, wondering if the Your Excellency would mind his rudeness at the beginning. If he was known, he would definitely be punished, so he hurriedly said, I don't know what Your Excellency has to say, I will do my best. Lin An was very satisfied with the other party's attitude, and said slowly. I want. The more Smurry listened, the deeper his frown deepened. Your Excellency, this matter, I may not be able to make a decision, I may have to report it, that the matter is too big, or Lin An's request is too big, he can't make a decision. Lin An nodded, it's okay. You report it. I believe they will agree. You know, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Smurry nodded, then turned and left. At the same time, an angry voice came from Lin An's mind. We agreed that after killing Wang Xuan, you will go south, do you understand? Lord, please rest assured. After getting rid of my inner demons, I will definitely go to the south. Lin An said. Humph. It's better to be like this, otherwise, you know. The voice threatened, if it wasn't for the inexplicable destruction of several thoughts and the injury of the soul, how could he be so easy to talk to? And there was no other better container around. He still needed to be patient. When he reached the south and found his sealed Dharma body, Lin An would be out of trouble. Lin An's eyes also flashed a trace of viciousness. Now he knew that the voice in his head was the evil demon called Wu, that NaN had worshipped before. The few moves he practiced before were all witchcraft, which just happened to attract Wu. As a result, he was bewitched by him and controlled by him. Fortunately, for some reason, his injury loosened later, and he had a little free will. Now his plan is to use the means he laid out to harm Wang Xuan, and to get rid of this evil demon with the help of Rongdi. It is said that the belief of Rongdi is the temple on the great snow mountain. It should be the same existence as the Wu of NaN, and maybe it can help him. I believe that the other party is also very interested in the existence of Wu. Half a day later, everyone arrived at the ruined temple. Wang Xi stepped forward to test the temperature of the fire and frowned. We are late, at least 3 hours have passed. That just now they sent out more than 100 spies in the direction of Human Pass, and finally found clues about Lin An, so they rushed here. Unexpectedly, they were still late. Moron Wanqing comforted them. It doesn't matter, this shows that our direction is correct. Lin An is going to Rongdi. There is only one road to Human Pass. If you go fast, you can catch up tonight. If you go slow, you can catch up tomorrow. But I see that everyone is tired, and it is getting late. It is difficult to travel at night, so why not rest here? What does your Highness think? Moron Wanqing turned to look at Wang Xuan. Wang Xuan nodded. Just listen to the Prime Minister. Moron Wanqing shouted, everyone. Rest where you are. The Jianghu heaved a sigh of relief when they heard it. After a day's journey, they were all exhausted and collapsed to the ground, no longer in formation, but the Zunlongwai were still energetic, sitting together in 2s and 3s, forming small teams. Half of the people were on guard, and the other half were eating. In this way, even if there is an emergency, they can respond as quickly as possible. Seeing this, Yang Linjing sighed and said, Your Highness, your Zunlongwai is indeed an elite. The Jianghu has been corrupt for many years and is no longer the Jianghu it used to be. Wang Xuan smiled and said, Brother Yang, don't belittle yourself. His Majesty has already made up his mind to reorganize. After you go back this time, you can give your suggestions to His Majesty, and maybe you can make a difference. Yang Linjing nodded. Even if Wang Xuan didn't mention it, he had this plan. Just when he was still thinking about chatting with Wang Xuan, his face suddenly froze, and he looked apologetic and said to Wang Xuan. Your Highness, I have something else to do. I will come to see you later. Go ahead. Don't worry about me. Wang Xuan nodded, then he saw Yang Linjing walking towards the team, constantly talking to the Jianghu people,
as if to comfort them, but when he walked in front of a tiki, Linjing stayed for a while longer, and even took out something and handed it over. This process was very fast, and no one around noticed it, only Wang Xuan noticed it. Wang Xuan was a little surprised. Yang Linjing was a selfless person, and this kind of special treatment was rare. What was the relationship between this person and Yang Linjing that made him break the rules? Wang Xuan was puzzled, but he didn't think too much, and continued to meditate and practice his internal energy. He had already practiced the internal energy of the NaN manual to perfection. Compared with the previous pure Yang Wuji Gong, it was countless times faster. The main reason for this was his God-level comprehension and the foundation laid by the previous pure Yang Wuji Gong. Next, he wanted to try to combine the strengths of the pure Yang Wuji Gong and the NaN manual to create a more powerful martial art. At this moment, Murong Wanqing came over. Your Highness, I have something to discuss with you. Chapter 100. You are listening at NaVoFull.audio. Oh. What can I do for you, Prime Minister Qing? Wang Xuan asked with his eyebrows raised and eyes narrowed. For some reason, Murong Wanqing felt a little uncomfortable looking at Wang Xuan's expression, but she still endured it and said seriously. There are two ways to human pass, by water or by land. The water way is through Jinchang River, and the land way is through Feiyuan Gorge. The scouts ahead reported that the rebel Lin An should be heading towards Feiyuan Gorge. I think we should split up into two groups. You lead the troops to continue to Feiyuan Gorge, and I will go to Jinchang River to intercept him. We will attack him from both sides, leaving him nowhere to escape. How about that? Wang Xuan sneered in his heart. As soon as he heard her, he knew what she was up to, so he deliberately frowned and said. It's not a good idea to divide the troops. Murong Wanqing's face tightened, and she thought about what reason she could use to convince Wang Xuan. Wang Xuan continued, but this is a good idea. If Prime Minister Qing is sure, I will listen to him. Murong Wanqing breathed a sigh of relief and said with a smile, thank you for your support, Prime Minister. I blamed Lin An for stirring up discord before. I am sorry for the offense. Wanqing apologizes here. After that, she bowed and apologized to Wang Xuan. Wang Xuan also hurriedly said, why do you have to be like this, Prime Minister Qing? It's all a misunderstanding. I have not taken it to heart for a long time. Besides, I have no loss, so there is no need to apologize. Just don't blame me for slapping you. Murong Wanqing's face froze. She secretly hated Wang Xuan in her heart. He was so ignorant. He brought up all kinds of issues. Wasn't this poking at her? And how could she not hate him? This was a slap in her face. Sooner or later, she would have to pay it back. But it will be soon. Lin An should have made arrangements. In the next few days, it will be your death date. Wait, Wang Xuan. I will make you live a life worse than death. Thinking of this, Murong Wanqing couldn't help laughing out loud. Wang Xuan was speechless. Murong Wanqing looked so innocent. Why was she laughing like a fool? Was she afraid that others didn't know you were up to something bad? What is Qing Xiang laughing at? Wang Xuan asked suddenly. Ah! Murong Wanqing was stunned, and then hurriedly said, I am very happy to see that the prince has put aside the past grudges. Ha ha ha. Wang Xuan also showed a fake smile. The two smiled at each other, each with his own thoughts. The next day, the two split up into two groups, the Xianlong Guard and the Genie Guard joined together. This was Murong Wanqing's request, and the reason was of course that the Genie Guard was useless. Yang Linjing didn't refute anything when he heard it, because it was indeed the truth. Wang Xuan also had no objection, however. Yang Linjing chose to go to Murong Wanqing's side, and Wang Xuan was puzzled. Brother Yang, why don't you stay with me? We can chat on the way. Yang Linjing shook his head and said, I am following the order of His Majesty to protect the Prime Minister, so. He had already reached the Grandmaster level a few days ago. Although he was not a perfect Grandmaster, he was much stronger than the average two-flower Grandmaster. No wonder His Majesty wanted him to protect Murong Wanqing. After all,
although Murong Wanqing was a two-flower grandmaster, in actual combat, she could only barely beat some one-flower grandmasters. She still needed a combat-oriented talent like Yang Linjing to protect her. Oh well, but you should be careful, especially be careful of Murong Wanqing. Wang Xuan planned to warn him first. Yang Linjing frowned and was about to ask why, but Wang Xuan had already left, so he could only return to the team with questions. Then Murong Wanqing led them to the ferry to requisition a boat and sailed up the Jinchang River. At noon, it was time for lunch. His subordinate Lu Qing actually brought a jar of wine in his arms and said happily, "Sir, look what I found in the boat." Yang Linjing took a closer look and kept asking, "Bamboo leaf green?" "Yes. I didn't expect that this ship was actually used to transport wine. There are hundreds of jars of fine wine on the bottom of the ship." Lu Qing narrowed his eyes and smiled, "Sir, we have been very tired these days. Why don't we let the brothers have a drink?" When the guards heard this, they all showed expectant expressions. Everyone knew that Yang Linjing was fond of drinking, and Lu Qing was just trying to please him, but he still suppressed the impulse, and instead scolded, "These wines belong to the boatman, how can we touch them without permission? Besides, this time we are going to hunt down a wanted criminal, not to go sightseeing. What if we get drunk and get into trouble? Put the wine back. Here." Lu Qing turned around and went back to the boat with a frustrated look on his face. The guards were also disappointed, but this was Yang Linjing's decision and they had no choice. At this time, Murong Wanqing spoke. "It will probably take some time to get there. We are all warriors, so drinking some wine won't be a problem. At most, we can just use our internal energy to resolve the problem. After a long journey, I really need some wine to comfort myself. I am not an unreasonable person. Even if I bought this wine to treat you all, I will pay the boatman twice as much later." Yang Linjing looked embarrassed and said, "Prime Minister Qing, this." Seeing the opportunity, Lu Qing quickly advised, "Sir, even the Prime Minister has allowed it, why are you still hesitating?" Yang Linjing sighed helplessly, "Okay. You are allowed to drink." The guards were surprised. "Thank you, Mr. Qingxiang, thank you, Mr. Assistant Secretary. Oh. It's time to drink." The whole boat was noisy. Then Lu Qing sent people to bring out jars of fine wine from the bottom of the boat, and also found some snacks like peanuts. It can be said that it was very comfortable. Seeing this, Yang Linjing could only persuade everyone not to drink too much, just drink moderately, but basically no one listened to him. Instead, he was forced to drink a lot of wine. I don't know how long it took. Yang Linjing felt dizzy and couldn't even stand steadily. "What's going on? I don't think I'm drunk." Yang Linjing tried to use his true qi to dissolve the alcohol, but it was useless. He even felt his whole body go limp and collapse to the ground. Only then did he realize that something was wrong. There is something wrong with this wine. But it was too late. His consciousness had gradually blurred, and finally his eyes went black and he passed out. At this time, the entire deck was full of fallen guards, staggering here and there, unconscious. The only two people standing were Murong Wanqing and Lu Qing. Murong Wanqing directly pulled out a knife and wanted to kill them one by one, but was stopped by Lu Qing. "Do you want to die together?" Murong Wanqing said coldly. Lu Qing shook his head, "Don't kill them, it's useful." "Oh. Keeping them here will be a big hassle. When they wake up, it will be hard to control them." "Don't worry, the wine contains the master's poison, and their lives and deaths are in our hands." Lu Qing smiled and said, "And we can use them as hostages." Murong Wanqing knew that what Lu Qing said made sense, so she didn't insist anymore, just snorted coldly and returned to the cabin. Lu Qing looked at the beautiful mountains and rivers around him and couldn't help but sighed. Wang Xuan, Wang Xuan. Look how good I am to you, that I would like to thank Jin Yi Xing for his great care. Thank you very much.